Spuds, my friend, you're a very exciting young feller. I understand it's actually a young gal that plays Spuds. But you have nothing on the excitement that we have here right now in the domes. 2 full hockey games have been played on a Friday night. The winner, River Falls. No question about it last night. Tonight, a little tighter game. A 5-3 victory for Elmira College over River Falls. The game's tied at 1 apiece. Well, Brian McCutcheon is here. He is the head coach at Cornell University now, was head coach at Elmira College up until last spring. Served 6 years here. Jim Thies is sports information director at River Falls. How's the heart rate? You guys doing all right?
I'm doing fine because I don't have to go in that locker room right now and figure out what we're going to do. I think number one, I think we maybe I'm certainly a little biased here, but I give a lot of credit to the Elmira College team and Coach Damaris. I think they showed a great deal of character, and it seems to be something that they're used to doing this year. I know I was here last week to watch the Babson game, the second game, and went into a mini game, and I think a couple of keys to the difference in the game tonight. I think we mentioned earlier in the show is that Elmira just stayed away from the after whistle altercations. So you could see their teammates trying to pull their other teammates away if there was anything that even looked like it was going to happen. Just at the very end there, I was going to say there's an example right there. Dan Williams got Mike Nelson away from any kind of altercation. They really seemed to have themselves disciplined in what the job was at hand, and that was skating and moving the puck and going to the net hard, and they created some turnovers with their forechecking. They had people back checking. They cleared the front of the net, and then I thought River Falls played maybe not as well as they did last night, but River Falls is a very, very good team. Yeah.
Also, from a fan's point of view, this is a whale of a lot more fun to watch. A real skating hockey game. Both teams skating very well.
Yes, you're right, Roy. It's the way hockey should be played. It's fun. This is going to be fun. River Falls was involved with a mini game last year, not in the NCAA tournament, in our league playoffs, in our Northern Collegiate Hockey Association playoffs. The Falcons went to St. Cloud State last year, won the first night. It was big. It was 9-4 or something like that, kind of reminiscent of last night. And then St. Cloud came back and won the next game Saturday night. I believe that score was 6-2. And that of course, the mini game. The Falcons drew first blood, which I think you always want to do in the mini game. They scored here in Solon, I remember, scored from the point on a fine low slap shot. But St. Cloud was able to come back and score about 2 minutes later, and then they got the game winner with about 4 minutes left. So that ended up 2-1 in St. Cloud's favor. So the Falcons are 0-1 in this format, and we're going to have to go in the locker room right now. I'm sure Rick has got him in there, and just let's forget about what's happened. The only thing we can control is what we're going to do the next time we step on the ice.
It would be almost saccharine to say at this point, when the national championship is going to be decided in a 15-minute minigame or thereafter in a sudden death overtime, to use the phrase, there are no losers. If you come to the national final, you have earned national recognition as a national champion. Perhaps not the national champion, but a national champion. And that rolls off the tongue rather well, but having been around a team that has come in second in a national champion, it's awful hard to swallow. You don't sit in the dressing room thinking, well, we should be proud of how far we've gotten. You want it all.
Yes, you do. That's why you're here. That's why we play the game. You want to go out with that gold medal or whatever you want to call it, that #1 trophy. Both teams, I'm sure, are feeling like that right now, and both teams want it very badly. And if the team that comes out and executes, does their job, that I guess is going to win it. I hope. You know, we talk about the fluke goal. We hope it doesn't go down to that it's not a goal like that that decides the game, that it's a good, solid goal or whatever it is. And you hope that happens anyway.
Also, people talk about the breaks of the game. I don't think there were any bad bounces of the puck last night. I don't think there were any tonight. I think the teams last night and tonight made their own breaks. So let's hope that this 15-minute minigame holds perform.
Right, I think it's going to be interesting to note here too, and as Jim alluded to earlier, they've had River Falls had one example of being involved in a mini game, and most of the people on the Elmira team they played in a mini game out in Bemidji 2 years ago in the NCAA tournament. They just beat Babson last weekend, the same type of thing. It was a mini game which ended up tied, and then they won in overtime. It'll be interesting to see if that experience is going to help them. It's again remains to be seen. I think one other thing that I like, at least if you have to play a mini game, at least they've extended it to 15 minutes. I can tell you from first-hand experience, both with Elmira and with the Cornell team that I had, if either team scores midway through the mini game and you look up at the clock and there's only 3 or 4 minutes left in the game, and it's a different, whole different outlook on the game. But at least now with 15 minutes, that 5 minutes means a big difference, I'll tell you.
We talked a little bit, Jim, about the River Falls fans. We also were talking about the population of the school. We had the interview, of course, between periods, a little bit of history of River Falls. It's got to be a reassuring thing. You're in the business of doing publicity for the sports department. That's your job. And to see support like this, like the 300-400 people that have made a long drive. It's a long drive. And I certainly hope that however things turn out, that they've had a pleasant time in upstate New York. But there is something about collegiate sport that I think attracts really the kind of best in fandom, if there is such a word.
That's right. The people over there know each other very well. You spend 19, 20 hours on a bus, you're going to get to know your seatmate, I guess. And they spend a lot of time out at Hunt Arena, our hockey facility, watching the Falcons play. They're just a solid group, and I know there's a lot of them back home right now listening to us that I think would almost give anything to trade spots right now and be out here cheering on the Falcons. So we've got a great, loyal, very supportive group of supporters. And the people here at Elmira, I can't say enough. I've been with the hockey team, and they've been great. We've been taken wherever we wanted to go, accommodated. I have nothing but respect and the best to say about the Elmira people. It's been a pleasure to be here. Couldn't be more fun. I'm really happy we were able to come here. We'd love to have it in Hunt Arena, obviously, because we'd have a great time there too. But this is the next best place to home, I guess, right now.
Ryan, you have to be in a little bit of an awkward position. All these players on the ice for Elmira, you brought to this school. You know every one of them. You recruited them and brought them to this school with a 750 enrollment. I wouldn't say that you're prejudiced, but you've got to be pulling for Elmira. That would be that's why you're here. That's why we have you here. So we get to get your opinion on it, because we're being pelted from the crowd by something.
Well, I think our audience would understand if I admitted the fact that I'm certainly biased. I think I've come to know some of these players, very much, and I'm very proud of what they've done this year. As I mentioned, I recruited them, and I know their families, and I became pretty close to them through 3 and 4 years. As I mentioned, there's a number of seniors on this team, but you still have to remember that a lot of the credit goes to Coach Damaris, who's done just a tremendous job with this team and the program, and it all fell together for him this year. And that's what I'm most overjoyed about, is just the fact that a lot of those seniors that we talked many, many years that you're going to play for a national championship, finally getting a chance to do that. So I guess along with I'm pulling for Elmira, and I hope they can pull it off here.
Well, Jim, you had tonight. It must have been a very happy crew looking forward to tonight's game.
Okay, I was just coming around the other way. I was listening to the whole too.
A solid hockey game. It was a close game, really, because the last 4 goals I think were scored in the last 5-6 minutes of the game. So it wasn't easy by any stretch of the imagination, but the Falcons were very pleased. You know, you come out, we've been at home for 4 straight weeks now and playing in front of our fans in our building, and it's different going on the road, the air travel and everything like that. So we were very pleased with the results of last night's game, obviously. They sure did come into this game expecting a cakewalk, that's for sure. I know Rick Kozebach well enough to know that that's not going to happen. They had a meeting this morning about noon, talked over what they wanted to do, what they had last night, what they saw last night, what they were going to try to do better, make some changes. It didn't work right now. Let's go back to the drawing board right now and see if we can come up with something else in this game.
We want to take an opportunity, too, while we have the opportunity, to mention that putting together this telecast in just a few days' notice was a whale of a job by an awful lot of people who worked very, very hard and very, very long hours to get this on the air. People in River Falls, people in Elmira, working individually and working together. I would hate to see the phone bills that ran between those two cities over the past couple of days. And in each community, River Falls and Elmira, there were businesses, merchants that said, yes, we want to be a part of this telecast to show our support for our respective schools and to show our support for intercollegiate sport. Here in Elmira, we can run them down quickly, and Jim, I hope you'll run down the people in River Falls, too. In Elmira, the people that have said, yep, I want to be a part of it. I want to say thanks to Elmira College for the pleasure they've given me with their hockey team. Elmira Savings Bank, Budweiser, distributed by Seneca Beverage here. Chapel Lumber, Bob's Car Wash, Chemung Canal Trust Company, Elmira Bottling Company for Pepsi, which we're enjoying right now. And Brunt Motors, New York State Electric and Gas, Pro Home and Yard Center, Chemung Electronics, Photo Express, Cutler's, Carpet and Flooring, Perry and Sportwood Insurance, and Panosian's Shoe World. All those people in Elmira showing their support for Elmira College and NCAA athletics. In River Falls, there are businesses there, too, that we may as well be honest, to put their money where their enthusiasm is. And they've said, yeah, we'll help underwrite this so the people in River Falls can enjoy this hockey game. Whom are they, Jim?
We had several businesses, Roy, and not just this weekend that they've been doing it, come through, of course, in a big way to have this on TV, but the last 4 weekends it's been excellent, and all these people have contributed all these past month and a half. I want to mention the Big Red Liquors, Trade Home Shoes, Prime Design, Checkers, Top Hat Video, Stevenson's, the Pizza Hut, Burger King Restaurant, Fling, Rainbows, and Radio Shack. If I might add, I also want to extend a special thanks to Mark Olson of Moore 4, to Driscoll of Erickson's Diversified, as well as to all the Riverside Square merchants for helping to bring this telecast back to River Falls, Hudson, and North Hudson.
This may seem a little down home, but we are down home. Elmira is a very small community, upstate New York. River Falls, a small community in Wisconsin. It means a great deal. Just if you're in the neighborhood of one of the businesses that Jim mentioned or one of the businesses that I mentioned, just go in and say, hey, thanks. Thanks for your support. It means a great deal to them to hear your recognition that they're involved in bringing you River Falls hockey and bringing you Elmira College hockey. Now, the clock that counts down the seconds for the resurfacing of the ice has only 40 seconds remaining, although Zamboni, I think, has a bit of work to do. You can probably tell by the picture that the Zamboni is not flooding. It is simply scraping, and there's a very good reason for that. It is warm in upstate New York. Yesterday, 73 degrees, not too far north of Elmira here. I don't know what it was in Elmira. And today, I think it got up to around 62 locally, and the ice is soft and was exceptionally soft last night. A little better condition tonight, which probably had something to do with both teams being able to undertake a little better skating game. But anyway, there's no flooding going on out there. just scraping the surface to get a little better surface for this mini-game.
They had a meeting with the NCAA officials and the coaches and personnel from each university, and because of the warmth, Rick Kozak suggested that maybe they do a dry shave if it stays warm. And of course, you get 3,500 or 4,000 people in the building. It is going to be warm, and they did that last night between the second and third period, and now for the mini game. So I think it's a good idea. I'm glad to see it was done.
I don't think we want to even hazard a guess at how many people are here in the domes. The fire marshals might be listening, so but let me tell you, it's jammed as much as it possibly can be. Now the officials have returned to the ice. We await the return of the teams. Brian McCutcheon, you're a coach. What do you say under these circumstances? A 3-game series coming down to a 15-minute game. The series tied at 2.
River Falls is going to come out with a great deal of intensity and say, we've got a second chance here. Let's take it to them early. Let's try to get that goal and then, you know, maybe not sit back, but just make sure we don't have anybody caught down deep or too many people caught deep in the zone. With Elmira, I think it's just a case of saying, all right, we've got some momentum going here. Let's continue to play with that intensity, but let's be smart. No foolish penalties. Make sure we got a man in position to back check. But don't be too conservative. You got an opportunity to get that goal. You got to get it.
We don't change ends here from the third period of the preceding game. This is a brand new game. Mongillo goes to the goal, which he protects in the first and third periods regularly. So this is the first period, although it is only 15 minutes long. Again, just to remind you that if the score is tied after this 15-minute mini-game, we will go into a sudden death, 10-minute overtime. And if there is no decision during that 10-minute overtime, sudden death, we'll go into another sudden death. Don't go away. Grab a sandwich. Grab a cold one. We may be here for some time. Both teams certainly will be very defensive-minded. 15 minutes goes on the clock. Teams have already broken their huddles around their respective goaltenders.
Roy, as we get underway here with this mini game, there's a couple of things that I'd like to mention. I think number one, Elmira has to be concerned. I noticed throughout the game that they're leaving the point in their defensive zone. They're leaving the Wisconsin defenseman open up high, and I think they better be aware of that.
We are underway in Wisconsin's Albert with the puck ahead to Scott. He flicks it to the Elmira blue line, chased by Hahn. Flick right back to center ice, and Scott controls to his left. To O'Hara. Change in defensive combinations here. Chappelli breaks across the blue line for Elmira. He's hauled down, and we're going to have a penalty. Elmira will be on the power play early here in the 15-minute mini game. Off will go River Falls O'Hara. Just 22 seconds into this mini game. Elmira power play for the next two. We'll take a look at the River Falls penalty killers. Solon defensively. Along with Legou, Scott, and Berrigan. Legou behind the cage. Off the boards, kept in by Elmira Williams. Glenovich with the puck. Into the near corner, tied up by Soland. Comes loose, tied up again by Soland. He kicks it along the boards. Wasting Elmira power play time. Picked up. Banas into the corner. And cleared to center ice by Scott of River Falls. He clears at the length of the ice. A minute and 25 seconds remaining. Elmira power play. This is Chappelli to Morrissey across the blue line. Morrissey in the mid slot. He's all down. The puck cleared away. And Albert clears it to center ice, breaking up left wing, moving toward the case, and pass out in front, blocked by the sprawling body of the back-checking Williams for Elmira. Puck still fought for behind the Elmira cage. 54 seconds remaining. Elmira power play. Morrissey with the puck at center ice. He's checked. Morrissey recovers. Backhands it into the zone. A backhand shot, save! Rebound shot, save! Chris Hansen standing tall in the River Falls cage. Carley with the puck for Elmira behind his own net. 25 seconds remaining. Elmira power play into the River Falls zone. Loose puck in the mid slot. It comes loose and cleared by Legou, the length of the ice. This River Falls player hurt. Down is Griffith. 16 seconds remaining on the penalty clock. Griffith gets to his knees before the trainer can reach him. He's all right. We can see it again. There's 2 saves in a row by Hansen.
I'm more and more impressed with Hansen every time I see him here. There's just another case of he makes the initial save. He's back up on his feet. He made the second save. He seems very cool and collected, and just the type of goalie that you need in a game like this, in a situation like this.
Yeah, he's not flamboyant. He just does it.
That's how Chris has been for 3-4 years for us now. That's his style.
Hammer to Legou, back into the zone to Solon. Solon loses the shot, a save by Hansen, and he holds on. Oh, a quick wrist shot. And Hansen was in position. He plays the angles beautifully.
The Falcon defenseman made a mistake there and coughed up the puck. A turnover right in the slot area, and that's Elmira had an excellent shot on goal. I didn't see who had it, but again, an excellent opportunity.
8 seconds remaining. Elmira power play. We're just underway in the 15-minute minigame to decide the national champion. First 2 games split between these teams. Right point Picard, shot off a leg, steered to center ice. Breaking out on left wing, Niles ahead into the zone, pass out in front. McReynolds can't get a shot away. He's ridden to the backboards. Hall tried to haul the puck and he didn't. River Falls returns to full strength. And Elmira steering it to center ice, controlled by O'Hara of River Falls. Sweeps it to the Elmira backboards, rolls along the top of the dasher. Mongillo drops it off. McDonald ahead at center ice to Marino. Across the blue line, Haviland can't get a shot away. Haviland stops in the corner. Pass out in front, a long shot. Just wide of the cage. Rebounded in front. Niles steers it to center ice. It'll trickle the length of the ice. Picked up by goaltender Mongillo. To Chappelli. Scott with the puck. Long pass ahead. Dropped off. Kept in. Shot over the top of the Elmira cage. Race forward into the corner. Hahn fighting for it. Loose behind the net. Taken away by Elmira. Up the right wing comes Best to Curry. To Chubb, offside. .11:31 remaining in this mini game. An Elmira player is injured. I cannot see the number through the glass. Let's take a look. Is it Chappelli? I don't know. All I can see is the 2. Picard? Oh, wait and see. It might be a knee. No score thus far in this 15-minute mini-game to decide the national champion between the Falcons of River Falls and the Soaring Eagles of Elmira. Again, the trainer attending to the injured Elmira player. You could see a 2 on his sleeve as he was hunched over on his side. The card is 2, but whether there's an additional number there, I'm sorry, I just can't see at this point. Now he's got his glove in the way. Trainer looking at the left leg. Now, it is Chappelli. We are very happy you could join us tonight for exciting NCAA championship hockey from upstate New York, Elmira. And a good roar from the crowd. A hand for Chappelli as he is helped off the ice.
Right, both teams have had some very good opportunities here early on in this mini game, and it's surprising because I've seen a couple of 2-on-1s both ways and a couple of sloppy plays in front of the net, and that's not what you'd expect in this type of game, but maybe they're both just going for broke.
Chappelli favoring the left leg as he goes off. We'll see if he goes to the dressing room. Yes, he will. He will not stay at the bench. Now, one would think that it would be unlikely that we'd see him for the remainder of the night, but we will see. Talked to an awful lot of trainers who have worked an awful lot of sports other than hockey, and they are always astounded at the recovery ability of hockey players. They come back after what injuries that would sideline many another athlete. Face off just outside the River Falls blue line, controlled by the Falcons. To center ice. Across the blue line goes Hammer. Hammer can't get a shot away. Loose puck in the slot. Elmira takes it away. A shot saved by Mangillo. Deflected into the corner. Knocked down in the corner. Picked up and cleared the length of the ice by Elmira's Swarbrick. And the Soaring Eagles called for icing the puck. Face-off back in the Elmira zone to the right of goaltender Mangillo. 11:05 remaining in this 15-minute mini game.
That's really not a bad play by Swarbrick. They had a very unsettled situation in their defensive zone, and rather than cough up the puck again, he just decided to move it out and take the face-off to get a line change.
Aaron Scott on the draw for River Falls. He's behind the cage with the puck. Try to move it out in front. Loose in the slot. Taken away by Elmira. Up the right wing goes Dixon. And Scott takes it away. He moves up the right wing. Overskated the puck. Pass to his left to Cable. Cable shot. Saved by Mangillo. Behind the cage. Whipped off the boards. Fought for along the boards. And steered to center ice. Doherty for Elmira. Taken away by O'Hara. O'Hara looks up ice. Headmans it to Cable. Cable, long headman pass. Too far for Scott. It'll go the length of the ice. They wave off icing into the far corner. River Falls changing on the fly. Puck comes to center ice. Haviland can't control it. Scott does. He's seeing an awful lot of ice time here. Loose puck out in front. Poke to the near boards and a stick check. And back comes Elmira. Sweep check away. Hahn with the puck. Sends it through the slot to the far boards. Taken away by Elmira. Up the left wing, Marinaro can't reach the puck. Goes the length of the ice. Hansen stops it at the side of his cage and holds on for a face-off to his right with 9:52 remaining in this 15-minute mini game for the national championship.
Chris Hansen decided to get a stoppage of play. The Falcons had different sets of lines together, and they wanted to get a complete unit out there, so it was a wise move, even though there wasn't a lot of pressure there. We decided to get the whistle and get a change.
Banis for Elmira. Hammer for River Falls. Drawn to the left point, a shot over the top of the cage and wide. Picked off the boards by Niles. To center ice, to Hammer. Off the far boards, Elmira. Swarbrick chasing it to the backboards. Lagou is there first for the Falcons. Long, rink-wide, right wing pass to McReynolds. Steers into the Elmira zone. McReynolds winds up, shot, Saved by Mongillo. Hopped in front of him and cleared to the boards. Loose puck. Steered to center ice and off the Elmira bench, and play is called to face off back in the Elmira zone. The circle to the left of goaltender Mongillo. 9:18 remaining in the 15-minute minigame.
Well, you think it, just watching the replay there, that's the type of bad play late or bad bounce you might find it that could end the game for you. And you'd hate to see it happen on that. I was just going to mention that being such a long night, you might find that one of the smaller players with a little bit of speed could be the one that creates that winning goal. The guy with the extra, the little fresher.
Fought for from the face-off, steered to center ice. Racing for it is Curry across the blue line. Curry sends it toward the cage off a body. Loose behind the cage, picked up by O'Hara. O'Hara looks up right wing. Clears his own zone ahead to Best, too far. Williams races for it into the corner. O'Hara trying to move it out in front, not O'Hara. Loose in the corner, and Elmira controlling. Up the right wing comes Williams. Williams controlling. Long shot off a leg into the corner. Curry racing for it. Flicks it off the boards. Right point, Nelson shot. Would have been high and wide, but off the deflector, out of the rink, play called. 8 minutes, 35 seconds remaining in the minigame. Both teams make wholesale changes here. Both teams deserve to be tired. Marinero for Elmira. Griffith for River Falls. Puck is dropped toward the cage, kicked away by Hansen. Centering pass knocked down by the River Falls defense, and Berrigan tries to steer it to center ice and does. Knockdown comes off a player on the bench, and play is called with 8:24 remaining in the minigame.
Couldn't ask for more in a college hockey game. This is just a filled rink and great hockey, great excitement. This is what it's all about.
We are glad you can join us. We are glad we could bring it to you. Marinero into the zone, shot wide. A real quick wrist shot by Marinero. Wide of the River Falls cage, behind the net. Lagoo steers it to center ice. Sent right back in the River Falls zone. Soland to center ice to Shaft. Long shot by Griffith, off a leg. Loose in the slot and cleared by Marinero into the corner. Sent the length of the ice by the Soaring Eagles, and icing is called. Face off to the circle to the right of Mongillo. 7:51 remaining in the minigame.
It was good to see that Tom Griffith, number 9 for the Falcons, was back on the ice. He took a hit in the slot area a little while ago, but he was able to come back from that. So Tommy's back centering his line.
Just to clarify, make clear the rules here. We are not in sudden death overtime. 7:51. A goal does not win it until the clock runs down. Left point, O'Hara, shot blocked by the sprawling Zoronic, and Carly breaks out with a 2-on-1 with Banis, broken up by River Falls defense. Scott on right wing across the blue line. Scott into the corner, trying to move out in front. Shot saved by Mongillo. He can't cover it at the side. They try to cover it up at the backboards. Carly trying to move it along the boards, and the whistle sounds for a face-off to Mongillo's left. 7:29 remaining.
Well, the Eagles had a 2-on-1 coming back, and John Albert made a great defensive play there, stopping that, and started the rush going the other way, Brian.
The other thing I was going to mention earlier, Roy, is number 11. It's Scott. He's a left-handed shot, and sometimes he'll go forward on his backhand off of this face-off. Not many centermen will do that, and if you watch out here, he could walk right through the middle there if the centerman doesn't take the body on him.
Again for River Falls, this is Aaron Scott in the face-off circle with Elmira's Tom Morrissey. Puck is dropped. Controlled. Albert trying to feed it ahead, comes back to center ice to O'Hara. O'Hara sweeps it to the Elmira backboards. Nelson is there, bangs it off the boards. Up ice, kept in right point. Albert, a shot saved by Mongillo, deflected out in front, and he covers up for a face-off to his left. casually hands the puck to the official and skates to the other referee. Well, we've been impressed with Hansen for the last 2 nights, and Mongillo has been warming to the task as these 2 evenings have progressed. Face off to his left. Griffith and Chubb steered to center ice. Soland to his right. Berrigan has to back up. Has it taken away momentarily by Chubb. Doherty steering it up the boards. Comes to center ice. On the stick of Schaff into the Elmira zone. Shot off a leg of Nelson. Loose behind the cage. Far corner Doherty of Elmira. Up the boards. Kept in a shot deflected. Score! Griffith for River Falls takes the lead here in the 15-minute minigame. 6:47 remaining. A 1-0 lead for River Falls. Griffith with the deflection. And the River Falls players celebrating the goal. The River Falls fans, as you can see.
Now you getting to play what we were talking about earlier. Brian said is that there's 6 minutes to go, 7 minutes to go in the game, plenty of time for something to happen here. The game certainly is not over.
Face off center ice. Scott and Marinero, and Elmira sending it to the River Falls backboards. O'Hara from behind his own cage. Off the boards. Hard check. Comes to center ice. Scott with the puck. Across the Elmira blue line. Scott poke checked away, recovers in the corner. Scott ridden off the puck, still picks it up behind the Elmira cage. Near corner for Hahn. He can't reach it. Sent to center ice. Long pass too far for Marinero. And McDonald takes a shot that is deflected out of the rink. Play called. Face off, top of the face-off circle to goaltender Hansen's right. 6:15 remaining in the mini game. A 1-0 lead for River Falls.
Those are the type of goals that Mongillo just nothing to do with that. It was a shot, a relatively weak shot to the point, and it was deflected, changed direction. Mongillo just had made a save prior to that in the same type of play. Just he's nice as an athlete. He couldn't get to that one though.
Puck is controlled by the Soaring Eagles into the mid slot. Goes Williams, ridden away, and back comes River Falls. Straight up ice comes Niles all alone. Gets some help, but the puck is sent right back to center ice and dumped in the Elmira zone. Delayed offside on River Falls. Elmira carries to center ice. Straight up ice comes Nelson. Poke checked away from him. Recovering off the boards is Williams. Sends to an open wing, and back come River Falls. Hammer, as he wants a change. Changing on the fly, or the Falcons pass out in front, and shot, a save by Mongillo, trying to cover up, backhand shot, play called as the cage was lifted off, and we're going to have a penalty. Quite clearly, the Soaring Eagles lifted the cage off the net as Mongillo was out of his cage. And an Elmira player may be injured. Here we can take a look at it. There's the save by Mongillo. Comes off the boards. A good centering pass all alone out in front. Mongillo made the save, but look at that puck lying there. And there, off the pegs.
Mark Berrigan had that opportunity in front. Mongillo came up with the big save he did. Going back to that goal, River Falls, Tom Griffith got the goal with assists to Mark Berrigan, and Jeff Schaff.
Dan Williams is helped off the ice by the Elmira trainer as he was collided with the cage in an effort to... Yeah, they gave him the penalty for delay of game. So, River Falls power play for the next 2 with 5:35 remaining. Really wasn't a great deal of choice with that puck just lying there.
Right, Mongillo made the save and just kind of laid there, and he tried to backhand. Actually, I think it was Dan Williams. I don't know if it was an accidental or not, moving the net off. But he saved the goal, I think, by moving that net off. So if you can call it a good penalty, then it's a good penalty.
I would guess from this angle it was pretty good call by the officials, too. Clearly, or at least from my obviously unbiased point of view, that was intentional.
Dan also appears to be hurt, and I don't think they can afford that because Dave Chappelle is already out with that knee injury, and I can see him over there on crutches, so they can't afford any more.
Right point, Scott. A shot deflected wide of the cage into the near corner, controlled by Cable. Left point, Lagoo to Scott at the right point. Flicks it off the end boards, high in the air. Play called. Might have touched one of the fans that are hanging over the rail that is parallels the glass at the end ice.
One of the worst things about the Elmira shorthanded situation is there's only 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go right now, and they have to skate a man short, and they need a goal desperately.
Play underway, and the puck is sent to center ice with 5 minutes, 13 seconds remaining in this mini game. Lagoo behind his own cage. A 1-0 lead for River Falls. Scott up the left wing. He's been all over the ice tonight. Into the corner. Scott turned behind the cage. Scott in the corner. Scott still controlling. Aaron Scott with the puck into the near corner. Left point, Lagoo. Shot. Saved casually by Mongillo, and he holds on for a face-off to his right. And a little bumping and pushing. The first time we've had that this evening. This is all after the whistle. And it really is the first time it has occurred. Last night it happened practically on every stoppage of play. Tonight, there's been none of it. 4:51 remaining in the mini game.
We just saw Williams come back from the locker room, and he did take his spot in the penalty box, so we're glad to see him back on the ice, not seriously hurt.
Yeah, there will be no penalties here. Well, may well be. Yep. Off will go Carly. He spent a great deal of time in the penalty box last night. Also picked up 2 10-minute misconduct. And also off will go River Falls Hammer. Double minors to both players. With 4:51 remaining, both Hammer and Carly pick up double minors, so they'll return with just 51 seconds remaining. 1:16 minutes remaining on the River Falls power play.
How's the Elmira team on 4-on-4? I guess that might be a question right now, since most of the rest of the game is going to be played on a 4-on-4 situation.
It's difficult to say. With the 4-on-4, I think as a coach, you want to get as much speed out there as you possibly can, and both teams have some of that, so it could be even. But as you said, it's a precarious position right now for Elmira. They need to get one back, but they have to kill this off first.
Puck is sent into the Elmira corner, slapped right back. Left point, Niles toward the cage. Pass out in front, blocked, and just dumped by Morrissey to center ice. He lost his stick and threw a shoulder at Jeff Schaff. Berrigan across the blue line. Niles looks toward the cage, winds up, shot, saved by Mongillo. Loose puck behind the net. Griffith to the right point. Albert to Niles. Niles behind the cage. Schaff, pass out in front. Morrissey is there for Elmira. He finds a hole and clears it the length of the ice. 4 minutes remaining in the mini game. A 1-0 lead for River Falls. And Elmira's Geronik trying to break things up at the River Falls blue line. Right wing, a shot, save by Mongillo. Rebound out in front, still out in front. It just sits there. Kicked ahead, and play is called. We're going to have another Elmira penalty. Oh boy. Well, in a game that is to decide a national championship, off will go Sean Cowan for Elmira. And that call was behind the play and really did not affect play at all. But the official made the call with 3:42 remaining. River Falls power play.
It's very difficult to be unbiased right now, Roy. And you know, at this stage of the game, I have to question that.
Cable to Scott, shot just wide, loose at the side of the cage and grabbed by Mongillo. River Falls power play, 1:56. Face off Mongillo's left. 3:31 remaining in this mini game. Elmira will have approximately a minute and a half. Now about a minute and a half to try to tie it up. A 1-0 lead. High in the air comes the puck. Swept to the near corner. Picked up by McDonald. McDonald flicks it to center ice. Lagu is there to Scott. Back to Scott. Broken up. Lagu circles. Bangs it off the boards. For Cable to Scott. Scott for River Falls across the Elmira blue line. Holds it, looks toward the cage, winds up, shot wide. Bounces off the back of the cage and is swept off the boards. Steered to center ice to Williams for Elmira across the blue line and is checked. McReynolds, left wing, Cable. Intercepted by Marinaro. He tries to steer to center ice, can't do so. Behind the cage, Williams. Up the board, center ice, Albert. This is Albert, falls down at the blue line, and offside is called. 2.5 minutes exactly remaining in this 15-minute mini game. 55 seconds remaining in the River Falls power play. So about exactly 1 minute, 35 seconds for Elmira to try to tie things up.
Difficult time now for Coach Damaris. There's got to be 1,000 things going through his mind, trying to kill the penalty off, resting the people you want out for the last minute, when you want to pull the goalie. Just 1,001 things going through your mind.
Toward the cage, Berrigan poked back to center ice. Niles backs up for it in his own zone. River Falls Niles behind his own net. Stands there for a moment, swings to the near side, and straight up ice he comes across his own blue line. Across on left wing to Griffith across the Elmira blue line. Griffith out in front, a shot is high off a stick in the air. And back on the Soaring Eagles. A man down is Hopwood. Takes a shot that is saved by Hansen. Banis chasing it far boards. Knockdown control by Albert. He comes up ice. River Falls power play has 15 seconds remaining. Albert steers it to the corner. Turns behind the cage. Pass out in front. Steered into the far corner by goaltender Mongillo. Picked up a backhand shot. Save with the glove hand by Mongillo. And he holds on. Play called. Hahn will take the backhander. And Mongillo just snaked out the left hand and grabbed it with the glove. Hahn was allowed to skate in from the corner.
And we've got a penalty on River Falls as John Elbert picks up a penalty.
Here we go to the replay. Now watch the centering pass from Hahn. Just moves out in front. Backhand. Look at that glove.
You see Hopper was picked a little bit, and Hahn was allowed to walk out. Probably the most difficult save for a goalie to make is that man walks into the corner, goes one direction, and then tries to backhand it back in the opposite direction. A great save by Mongillo.
We have timeout called with 1:38 remaining in this 15-minute mini game.
Elmira has taken their timeout. They're going to rest up a little bit and talk things over. And at the end of that play, we did have a penalty called. John Elbert was called for holding, so he'll sit out the rest of the mini game. Both teams gathering around their coaches now, discussing their strategy. Coach, what do you think? What's going on now?
I think you're going to have a man advantage. Now you have to start to think you want to have a two-man advantage by pulling your goalie and going against 6 against 4. Right now you have to tell your players where you want your face-offs. If you want to get the puck deep in the River Falls zone, obviously they're going to have some set plays off those face-offs in the offensive zone, who they want to get the shot, who they want to go to the front of the net. And probably, I don't see Mongillo involved in the discussion, but if it gets down late in the game, he may want to pull Mongillo and get 2 extra attackers. So all these things, I'm sure they're predetermined, but they're going to refresh their minds right now.
What about, Coach, what about the other side, River Falls? What would Rick Kozebak be telling his players?
I tell you what I know right now. First of all, I don't want my defense, I don't want any of the penalty killers to try and backhand the puck out of the zone unless they're 100% sure. Otherwise, you just give the puck back. Anything that they get control of, they have to shoot it hard and preferably high off the glass to get it out. Or if the Elmira defense can handle, at least he has to bat it down and make a play. They're also going to try and keep the front of the net cleared and clear any rebounds.
3 seconds remaining in 1 Elmira penalty. River Falls controlling the puck from the faceoff. Elmira returns 1 man to the ice. Here's Williams for the Soaring Eagles. Straight up by Stardy across the blue line. Shot off a body and cleared the length of the ice by River Falls. 1:20 remaining. A 1-0 lead for River Falls. Here's Williams across the blue line. He's checked by Lagoo. Morrissey circles at center ice across the blue line. Puck sent right back to center ice. Goaltender Mongillo looking toward the bench. Mongillo skates toward the bench. Across the blue line goes Williams. Off the boards. Juronic in the slot. Puck back to center ice. 53, 51, 49 seconds remaining now. The Elmira net is empty. Williams with the puck in his own zone. Pass to an open wing. It'll be picked off the near boards by Juronic. Juronic in the corner. Behind the cage. Juronic pulled down. No penalty call. Loose in the far corner. Fought for. Tied up. Comes loose. We'll wait for the whistle with 25 seconds remaining. Puck loose along the far boards. At the side of the cage, Niles picks it up and clears it back into the Elmira zone. Time for one more rush by the Soaring Eagles. But a shot from the side of the... Score! River Falls ices the victory. They will be the national champions. An open net goal with 14 seconds remaining. And the River Falls fans, here, you can take a look at it. Loose puck goes into the corner. That's Scott picking it off the boards, improperly defended, had not much of an angle to shoot at, but enough. And I think it's rather fitting that Aaron Scott picks up the clinching goal here. He has played one whale of a game for River Falls. We don't get a vote on MVP, but that's where mine is. Along with Hansen. I don't know, toss-up.
They're, as a matter of fact, both of those players in our league, in our NCAA, were named they tied for the All-NCAA Most Valuable Player Award. So you can tell that's picked by the coaches, and you can tell what the coaches thought of those two players. We had to redo the revote, and Aaron Scott did end up winning the award.
Griffith fighting for the face-off with the Chubb, takes it away and shoots just wide of the empty Elmira net. Loose puck out in front. O'Hara shot, score into the empty net. What really is a 1-0 victory will turn out to be a 3-0 victory for River Falls. The NCAA Division III national champions have to wait 5 seconds to be officially crowned. And a well-justified "We're number one" chant from the River Falls fans across the way. The Elmira fans quietly beginning to leave. Although I'll tell you something, there'll be a lot of Elmira fans that will stay here as the buzzer sounds to end the third hockey game. And look at the mob around goaltender Hansen. They are the national champions. This is what you tuned in for. This is what we watch collegiate sport for. the celebration for the national champions, and look at the huddle at the other end. No lowered heads among the Elmira players. And the victory celebration continues in the River Falls zone.
There's Falcon coach Rick Kozabach. Gary Ellerant, our trainer. Mark Tabram in the background. Some players who did not dress, but have been, of course, with the team all year. There's the scoreboard.
That final score. 3-0. River Falls over Elmira. Last night, a 7-1 victory for River Falls over Elmira. That was the first game. Earlier this evening, a 5-3 victory for Elmira in a very well-played hockey game from both teams' point of view. And here in the not an overtime, I beg your pardon, in the 15-minute mini game, a 3-0 victory over Elmira. The teams with the traditional handshake at center ice. There will be an awards ceremony. The second place awards to Elmira will be passed out first, and then the championship trophies to the champion River Falls team.
That's what everyone, I think, likes to see.
Kind of heartening to see the goaltenders shake hands. The non-combatants, as it were, always have a great deal of respect for each other.
No, they're two great ones, I'll tell you. Both of them played a great series. Hansen kept River Falls in it throughout, and Mangello made some excellent saves throughout. It's great to see the sportsmanship that's shown by the teams after, hey, they're battling each other for how many minutes? 60, another 15, but still they're out there congratulating each other, and the Elmira kids, you feel so bad for them, but still they're excellent athletes and deserve all the credit they can get.
I concur with that, Jim. It's a shame someone has to lose, but boy, you look, number one, on first hand, the character Elmira coming back and winning the second game of the series. And I think outplayed River Falls the majority of the night. And then River Falls goes in and regroups and comes out storming and just played a heck of a game in the mini game. And it's an emotional roller coaster. But it's an event that these kids will remember the rest of their lives, win or lose. Just tremendous.
An exciting evening. There is more excitement to come with the awards ceremony in just a couple of seconds. We'll bring that to you with the second place awards going to Elmira first, and then the championship awards, individual and the team national championship trophy. We'll have that awards ceremony in just a few moments. Glad you could join us. Stay tuned. This is National Championship Hockey.
More for a name in shopping excellence, offering you 4 stores in one. A discount grocery, deli and bake shop, variety store, and pharmacy. A grocery with a large selection of name brand and private label groceries at discount prices. Always a large and fresh selection of produce, USDA choice beef and golden plum chickens. A deli and bake shop, fast and fresh and ready to go. Our deli and bake shop can cater to your every need. Featuring cakes for all occasions, breads, buns, sweets, baked fresh 7 days a week. More for also offers a variety from toys to school supplies to health and beauty aids. We have more for you. More for offers a full-service computerized pharmacy with a free delivery, free blood pressure checks, and free insurance processing. More for where they offer you past savings. We pass along supplier savings to you. Pre-priced means repriced at 10% off at More for. Open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
The University of Wisconsin River Falls. Your future begins.
Got him up. Yeah, that one. Just pull him out. There you go. That's it. Straight in. Oh, and he gave him the wrong end. Wrong end. Yeah, thanks.
At the NCAA Ice Hockey Committee. Joey Bash, Paul Duffy, Bill Ross, Steve Watson, and NCAA Championship Director, Huckle Hunter Pietro. We now offer congratulations to this year's national champion runner-up, Elmira College, Soaring.
The individual awards being presented to the runner-up Elmira College squad. Pat Carley. As we watch these members of the runner-up squad come to accept their individual awards, it's quite clear to see the disappointment in their faces. And we'd be lying if we didn't say there were some tears being shed. A number of seniors on this squad will end their career as national runners-up. You probably heard the round of applause for the goaltender for the Soaring Eagles. And of course, the anticipation of the River Falls squad as they are clustered along their blue line, waiting to be presented with the national championship trophy. You may see or have seen Dave Chapini across the way, injured in the game on crutches, his left knee heavily wrapped. And the silver runner-up trophy resting on the ice in front of the Elmira squad. Now the presentation of the championship trophy to Wisconsin River Falls. And held on high so their fans can see it. Griffith. And the individual awards going to be presented to the River Falls squad. As quickly as we can, we'll try to get a word with a couple of the coaches. If we can get a word with the two coaches, and I'd like to also to get a hold of River Falls, Aaron Scott, and the goaltender, Chris Hansen. For now, though, we'll let each individual player have his moment as he gets the individual trophies presented. Always, too, a heartwarming sight to see the losing fans standing around and applauding members of the squad that just defeated their team. You can hear the names being read off. The PA announcer. Chris Hansen, the goaltender. 2 superb evenings for him.
Once again, congratulations, Wisconsin River Falls.
And a few more trophies to be phased out. Aaron, come here. Aaron. If we can get you to look at the camera up here, you can say hello to some of the folks at home.
Up here?
Right up there. He'll be with us in just a second. Let's take a look at that trophy. What do you get for the national championship? A miniature of the national championship trophy. Congratulations. You had a whale of a night tonight. You got a little skating room.
Yeah, well, it didn't really open up till about the third period, and then we started to perform a bit better. We didn't have a very good start. And then the minigame was, we started to play our style of hockey, and everything turned out good for us.
I'm sure the fans in River Falls are real pleased with this effort. It was a blowout last night, and certainly in the third period, but you ran into a hard skating team tonight.
Yeah, we sure did.
they play good their home rink here, and the ice is, they know their rink, and the ice is slower here, and we had, trouble to adapt. They know how to play here, and they did a hell of a job. It just didn't turn out for them.
How'd you reorganize things in the dressing room between the regulation game and the mini game?
Well, we just look at it. We wanted to win it in the regulation time, but we didn't, so we just had to put it all behind us and just go out and play 1 15-minute period. We played hard, and it turned out good.
Congratulations to you. Do me a favor, see if you can find Chris Hansen. We'd like to talk with him. Let the people at home hear him. Aaron Scott. And we'll see if we can find Chris Hansen, the goaltender who had two very, very wonderful nights. We'll just let Jim Thies chase him down. Here he is. Chris, congratulations on two wonderful evenings in goal. You were there more than when you had to be.
Well, play as a team. I just came out to play, as best as I could. These are my last two games. And I didn't want, my play not to win it for us, so I just tried to play my best.
You did. We were saying that there's nothing flashy. You're always on the puck. You see it through the screens. You've got the angles. You're just simply there, solid, and you don't go down at all, do you?
I got a bad knee. I've had 2 knee surgeries, so it's taught me to be an stand-up goalie. So, like you said, I'm not flashy. I'm not real quick. I just work, cover my angles as best I can. And always concentrate. Watch that puck.
I'll get to the celebration. Congratulations on a national championship. Jim Thies is the Sports Information Director. Coach, congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's a heck of a series, and I suppose a fitting way to win it, if it's got to be won, I guess the mini game is probably the way that you have to win to make it fair for everybody and get the fans to have the best opportunity to see both teams. So
I'll turn you around this way a little bit because we're turning right up there. Yeah, that game tonight, the regulation game tonight. Now, you came out on the short end there. It was a wonderful game from a fan's point of view. Wide open skating, close checking, none of the extra stuff that was going on after the whistles. But what do you say to your team? You go into the dressing room, you've lost the regulation game. It all comes down to a 15-minute mini game. What did you say to your guys?
Well, basically, our objective going into the third period was to win the third period. We felt that we were playing reasonable enough, but we were giving up too many man-short advantages or we're getting killed on the power play. We felt that we needed to cut down our penalties and try to play even up in the third period. And our objective was to win the third. So we won the third period. We thought we could have won the game had we not got a penalty when we had the power play. As it was, we still won the third period, so objective number 1 we had met. Then going into the mini game, it's a lot easier because we had some momentum. We at least had won that period. We had done what we were trying to accomplish, so we felt better going into the mini game. In the mini game, we practiced 15-minute scrimmages all year long. We play 15-minute sudden death scrimmages just as a competition 3 days a week. So going into this one, this is not anything that our kids hadn't been prepared for. We know, or we have learned how to play a very intense, short duration kinds of scrimmages. So going into this one, I just basically said this is where we've been so many times before this year. Let's just try and go out and play one more 15-minute period, and that's all we got to do.
National championship, does it get any better than this?
Well, it's tremendously satisfying. I wish we could have been at home to win it in front of all of our fans, but the people here have just been outstanding. The hosts have been tremendous. Our crowd, I can't speak enough for the people who followed us. It's just been a fantastic season. A national championship for these kids is a dream come true, and we're proud of all of them.
Congratulations to you. National champions 1988. Coach, thank you for talking to us. The party begins. And as this rink empties, and as you can see, it is very nearly empty. Yes, indeed, the party will begin. If you're in River Falls, I'm sure you're having a whale of a party. Have been for the past 20 minutes, perhaps. Elmira, oh yes, they'll party too, because there's next year. It's been a whale of a year for the Soaring Eagles, a national championship here for the Falcons. We are so glad you could join us from Elmira. This is called the Domes, the Murray Athletic Center. And those are the River Falls fans. An exciting 2 evenings of hockey. Glad you could join us. I'm Roy Ives, Brian McCutcheon, the coach at Cornell University, serving as color for Elmira College. Jim Thies, the sports information director from Wisconsin River Falls, the color for River Falls. Thanks for joining us. A lot of people put in a lot of work to do this. This is NCAA Championship Hockey.
Bro, Home and Yard Center is ready to meet your yard and garden needs.